right there. Latin 2. Go ahead and translate all of review 11G. Okay, my turn. So, Appius Julius Gioria sends fondest greetings to his grandson. Okay, so get out your red pen. Here we go. Hello, Simon. How happy I received your letter. I rejoice because you are well. I hope even that your father and mother and sisters and everyone who lives with you in Caesarea is well. Now, this is like the worst construction I've ever seen of an indirect statement, to be perfectly honest. The Wailere should be at the very end, and the habitent, they don't even explain to you why that is, but that is a relative clause of characteristic. You'll learn it next year. But in your letter, you were asking many things about the siege of about the sieges of Jerusalem. About Jerusalem having been sieged by the Emperor Titus. It is difficult for me to recall or to write down these very sad things, but since you wish to know everything, this is a cum clause, so it's cum causal. Since you wish to know everything, as the poet himself, or as that famous poet said, although my mind shudders to remember and flees from grief, I shall begin. Okay, and I don't remember the poet that he's referring to, but that was the thing. The Romans wouldn't even think about it. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, I know who that is." I can't think of anything in English or in American history where we would do that. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I can't think of a single thing. How did we Jews 40 years ago, with a rebellion against the Romans having been made, how did we drive out, or in what way did we drive out Gessius Florius, the governor, that most terrible governor of Judea, out of Jerusalem? You already know well. So you've got the nos at the very beginning of the sentence and expulleremus at the very end of the sentence, and that brings all the rest of it back in. I myself, by chance, had arrived a little before in time at Jerusalem, for I was wanting to do the religious rites during the festival days and the holy days. When we were knowing, when we were knowing, since we were knowing that with Gessius having been expelled, that the Romans would return, we were preparing to defend the city. However, the city, Jerusalem, was fortified both by skill and by nature. And that's a very common phrase, by the way, because a lot of cities were done that way. Like Helm's Deep, you build it into a mountain and you got one less thing to worry about. For the walls had been built by Herod the Great, the temple by King Solomon, and the citadel by the Romans themselves. But alas, at that time, the Jews were almost the source of extinction for themselves. For our soldiers were divided into three opposing factions, of whom the leaders were quarreling amongst themselves daily. For some were wanting to seize other plans. And so, before the Romans returned, many Jews already had been killed, and much food had been destroyed. Titus Flavius Vespasianus, the emperor of the Romans, because he had decided to recapture the city. He sent Titus, his son, with 4 legions. With the camps having been set up outside of Jerusalem, the Romans besieged our city. Besieged our city for 4 months, with the city walls having been surrounded, with the wall surrounding the city. So they built another wall. Very Roman thing to do. Oh, you've got walls? We'll build one too. At last, with many battles having been made, and with many on both sides having been killed, the Jews were lacking food. Thank you, Skura. He's deaf. He won't stop. With many dying of famine, the Jews, however, did not give themselves up. Titus, therefore, attacked the city with the greatest forces. With the citadel having been destroyed, with this temple having been burned, all the citizens were either captured or killed. I myself, in the first month, having been captured by the Romans in a battle, was not killed. I, however, was sent away or pulled away into slavery, or into servitude, into slavery. And I did not see the end of the siege myself. It is said that Titus is said to have wanted to spare the city and the people, and the Jewish population. The Jewish population. The Judean population. I apologize. They say, as in it's carried down to us, they say also that the temple was destroyed with Titus unwilling. However, I am scarcely able to believe it, for the Romans understood neither our customs nor in any way our sacred practices, our religious rites. Rather, on the other hand, they always scold them or scorned them. However, Titus realized that the temple was the seat of, so it was the center of rebellion, and he was having for certain that with the temple having been destroyed, that the weapons, that soon that the Jews would hand over their weapons. They would give up. Now remember, there's more on that next page. Differently, however, our wise men tell the story differently, however. We read that God was with those, amongst them, we read that God, angry because the Jews no longer were dutiful to the gods, that God decided to punish them. And so both the city and the temple, he allowed, he being God, both the city and the temple he allowed the Romans, to destroy both the city and the temple. Rather, he helped. Thus, God punished our population, or his people. Goodbye. Weird letter to send to your grandson, I tell you. But that's what people wrote about in ancient times, and I guess there's no real way to get back out of that. So that is the story of Review 11. So we're almost done. I'm going to hit the button.